Hey everyone, Scott here, and today I got a gameplay video for you. I'm going to be on the left there playing King Cold, and on the right we have Ked playing Majin Buu, I believe set 6 Majin Buu. But it got some support in the evolution booster as well. So as you can see there from my mulligan, I put my whole hand back. That was basically because I didn't have any fill cards or berry blues in that opening hand, so with this deck, with King Cold, you need to find your fill cards. Your fill cards what lets you draw other cards in the deck. So if you don't see any in the early game, you're kind of screwed. There's not much you can do. You don't have much draw power, and so I had to put all 6 back. And to be fair, I remember I got a much better hand off of the mulligan. I had like 2 field cards in my hand and a berry blue, which is pretty much ideal. That sorts you out for the early turns. I believe Ked won the dice roll, so he's going first. He's putting down a Boo into his energy, and then he's playing the 1-cost Boo, which all it does at the moment is let him draw a card. And now he's going to go ahead and burst his leader skill to see if there's any Boos in there that you could swap into his energy, but he didn't hit any. I think he got pretty unlucky in this game, if I remember correctly, off those early leader bursts. So that I'm putting down the field card that is the one that draws you a card and then lets you play a 2 or less freeze clan or freeze army. I'm also taking a life off the leader, and there we go. I play the berry blue that I had in my opening hand, and berry blue, when she's played, lets you look at the top 7 and grab either a field card or the unison. And I believe I'm going to take a unison here. Yep, you can see there. I got the King Vegeta unison, which is the ideal unison for this deck, with his ability to let you play field cards from your hand. So it looks like Ked's paying 2 for his. Frieza and Cell. And he's going to go ahead and put another copy under straight away. That's always one of the decisions you have when you have multiple unisons, is do you put it under for the extra marker, or do you maybe try and hold it in your hand in case this one gets cleared, then you have another one you can play. So I went ahead and just took that early turn hit. It just gets me close to my awakening, and then Ked, again, like I say, got unlucky, didn't get a Boo in his drop area off the burst. He's doing the +1 on the unison and not playing anything. The actual skill is to play a 1-cost card from your hand, but obviously he didn't have one. I think he runs that 1-cost Boo that he has out. I think he also runs Pan as another 1-drop that he can play down, but I guess got unlucky and didn't see any. So let's see what I'm going to stick in my energy. Oh, I put down the Frieza because I didn't really anticipate him being able to hit too many cards in this game. And so I'm going to go and play the unison out with 2 markers. I'm going to go ahead straight away and do the +1 to play another field card. I play a new ruler. This lets me take the last life I need to get down to 4 and draw off my leader. And then I'm doing a new ruler's effect, which is look at the top 3 and add a mono green to my hand. Looks like I chose, that is the new version of Cell's Destroying Kamehameha. Which is actually a card I'm thinking about taking out of this deck. It's not been the most useful card goer, and I think I just need to reduce the number of cards in the deck for the sake of consistency, but in this game I still had it in there. So I went ahead and awakened. Pretty easy to awaken on turn 2 if you actually do see the unison and a few field cards, since you're able to take the life of your leader. Here I'm swinging into his unison, and I'm doing the leader skill to put a new ruler in the drop, which lets me draw a card, drop card, and then anticipated onslaught triggers and KO something 2 or less, so I get rid of the Boo. And you can see that he lost the marker on it. And basically part of the reason I was doing that is it lets me use Berry Blue's effect to replay a new ruler from the drop, which draws me a card on my leader's awakened side, and then lets me look at the top 3 again, and I grab a that is the winner's version of Dormant Potential Unleashed. I was lucky enough to get one of them. I guess if you haven't seen my video on that where I pulled it, I'll put a card in the top right now. And there I'm just swinging my leader, my Unison rather, into his Unison and passing the turn. Keeping one energy open, I believe, possibly for a cooler. I don't remember off the top of my head what I had in my hand at this point, but I guess my strategy early on was just try to clear his Unison, seeing as how he committed so much to like get a lot of markers on it with like putting the extra copy underneath and doing the +1. Well, I guess you do the +1 because that's the only skill it has, but yeah, so my thought was I'll go into his Unison, I'll leave him unawakened so he's not getting the full benefit of his leader because he doesn't seem to run too much self-awakening. So that was kind of my thought at this point. And maybe just wait until I got some of the bigger double strike guys out to start swinging into his leader. So again, he's doing the +1 on his Unison and not playing anything, and there he does burst and get the 7-drop Buu into a drop area, which he's able to swap into his energy now. I think that might be the first Buu he's seen in like 3 turns of bursting 3, so like I say, he didn't get particularly lucky. I believe this attack is going into my Unison, and if I remember correctly, I do negate this one. I believe I use a Royal Supremacy, yep. I'm able to use that for free because I have 3 field cards out. It would let me KO it up to a total of 3, and the Gohan he has out is a 3 cost, but it has barrier, unfortunately. So I wasn't able to choose that Gohan. Looks like that was the end of Ked's turn. Unfortunately, with the way I had the camera set up, can't see all his energy, but I think he still has 1 energy open. No, because he paid 3 for the Gohan, didn't he? So it must be all tapped out, yeah. So I put the King Cold into the energy. I charged it just because with the Unison out, it's not great. And there I'm using Chilled's effect. You pay 2 green and discard it, and you can KO something with an energy cost less than the total number of cards your opponent has in their hand. And here I'm swinging my leader, I believe, into the Unison again, and doing the same thing I did last turn with a new ruler. Yep. So you can see there, lose the marker, and I'm going to go ahead and use my last energy for Berry Blue to bring it back. I felt pretty safe tapping out here because I had the Dormant Potential that we just saw me grab. And I'm pretty sure I also had another card in my hand that can negate an attack for free. So Dormant on the first one and then negate the second one. Obviously the first attack goes through in that instance, but I feel like maybe I had a super combo or something else in my hand. So you can see there I grabbed the Zamasu, Deity's Wrath, the new collector selection version as well. That's only in here as like a one-of. I'm thinking about maybe also cutting that along with the Cell's Earth Shrine Kamehameha. I'm not 100% sure because there are quite a few actually 5 costs in this deck. But there's not too many that you want to like get rid of necessarily. Other than like Charismatic Villain really, which I believe happened in this game. I was able to get the Zamasu out, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Could be thinking of another game I played this day. So he's going ahead, I believe, swinging into my Unison again. Just to draw the card, I guess. I think we'll have to wait and see if he's going to combo anything on it. Obviously, with my leader being awakened and my Unison being a 15k, yeah, it looks like he didn't actually combo anything on that attack. He was just using it to draw the card. And so we can see here he does the +1 in his Unison and actually has the pan to play this time. And I believe this attack goes into my Unison. Yep, you can see there he points right at the King Vegeta. I believe I negated this one with something. Maybe this is where I used the Dormant. Yeah. So I'm going to KO the pan with the skill of the Dormant, of KOing up to a total of 2. So that's actually one of the ways that Dormant Potential, because it doesn't actually negate the attack, but if you KO the card that they're attacking with, obviously the battle ends at that point. So in this case, I was able to prevent the first attack. He has one more attack for the turn. I'm pretty sure, like I say, I have a card in my hand, a negate that can be used for free. Also, that helps with the, you can see here's where I Charismatic Villain, his 1-drop Boo. KO in the pan, also I believe his Unison gains a marker whenever one of his cards is returned to his hand. So KO in the pan there before it can go back to his hand at the end of the turn. I believe was also a good play, obviously. Just makes clearing his Unison that a little bit easier, preventing him from getting the marker on it. So you can see here he plays another one of the 1-cost Boos, and now I cannot counterplay that because of Charismatic Villain. You can't use more counterplays for the turn. And it looks like he's swinging his Unison into mine. And I believe, yep, here we go. I use Shocking Death Ball, take the life, and I get to KO his 1-drop Boo again. So you can see I've done a pretty good job of like keeping his side of the board clear for now. I believe that's not going to be the case for the rest of the game yet. So here now he has those Boos in his drop area. He's able to put them in his energy with the leader. And take the, I believe that's the 3-cost Boo out. And when that card goes to the drop area from his energy, it comes into play and he puts a Gotenks in the drop area from his deck. So you can see there he puts the 4-drop Gotenks from, I want to say set 12? Might be set 11. I can't remember off the top of my head. So now he pays 1, sends that Boo to the warp, and he's able to play the 4-cost Boo that he charged on the very first turn. He's able to play that from his energy. And then when that Boo's played, he's able to put a card from his drop underneath. So he puts the Gotenks under. Top card of his deck goes into his energy, which is the 7-cost Boo, which is actually a pretty good hit for him. Well, I suppose he already had one, but it's another one. And then he uses the active main on the Boo. If it has a Gotenks underneath, he's able to play a Majin token. Unfortunately for Ked, I had Dormant Potential, so he's not able to kind of start swinging in with all that stuff. So he had to pass a turn there, and as you can see, he's maybe starting to get a bit concerned about decking out by constantly bursting 3. And you can see I put another one of the 1-drop freezers into my energy, just because so many of the cards Ked plays in that deck have barrier. Like that 4-cost Boo he has out now has barrier. The 3-cost Great Saiyaman that we saw earlier, that also has barrier, so at this point the freezer isn't going to be very good. So you can see that I swung with Dormant Potential. Since his leader's only 10k, I was able to do damage to him. And then for one, I was able to get rid of the Charismatic Villain to bring out Deity's Wrath, which is really good in this particular matchup. Seeing as how he's playing a mono blue deck, and with Deity's Wrath having Indestructible, there's basically no way he can get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is either negate his skills, which blue doesn't really do, or minus it, which again blue doesn't really do. So I can get that out pretty safely and keep it out. And again, I put in a new ruler in the drop, drawing a card, dropping a card, and then using Berry Blue to bring it back, which lets me draw another card and then look at the top 3. So you can see that's really the benefit you can get from Berry Blue. If you're able to keep it out every turn, you can just recycle the same field card over and over again. We can see that I grab a cooler, I believe. And the rest of the cards go to the bottom of the deck. So it looks like I'm doing the +1 on the Unison. I'm playing out another field card. So that is Terrified Realization, I believe. Which, when it's played, basically at this point just lets me draw a card. I don't really want to be taking the life, especially now that I'm at 3. I'm pretty sure the card I'm going to play now is the Gohan. Yep, Gohan from Dropbox 3. And when it's played, it lets me KO something ignoring barrier, which I'm going to do to his 4-cost Buu he has there. I'm able to play it out for 2 because my lead is green and my life is 3 or less. So it gets its cost reduced by 3. And you can see there, I'm choosing... It does have another effect, which is to remove a marker from your opponent's unison, but I believe I'm just attacking into his unison now with the Gohan that has double strike. So Ket goes ahead and negates that with Dimension Magic, lets him restand some of his energy, and obviously keeps his unison alive. I think I'm going to go in on it now with the Zamasu. I believe he doesn't negate this one, and when Zamasu attacks he has to drop a card from his hand. Yeah, so he drops looks like another one of the 4-cost Buus, and then he loses the marker. So the thing I was worried about at this point was God Sealing, with him having the unison with 2 or more markers up. Luckily the Gohan, I believe, has deflect, rather, so he wasn't able to bounce back to my hand. And it looks like, yep, I'm swinging into his unison again, and he negates again with Dimension Magic. And so that's it, I gotta pass the turn. So, looks like, yep, Ked's able to play another one of the 3-cost Buus into his energy, which means he'll be able to do the same thing he did last turn with the 4-cost Buu, I believe. Actually, I'm not 100% sure does he need to have the other 4-cost Buu in his energy? I think he might. I'm not 100% sure. So there he put another unison underneath and gained the marker and just didn't play anything. Did the +1 and didn't play anything. Which was a pretty clear sign to me that he had God Sealing. Now that he's at 4 life from, I believe, taking the life last turn with the Dimension Magic is what let him get down to 4. He's able to awaken. It looks like there... I think I missed it. I can't remember if this leader is a draw 2 or a 1-1 or a untap 2. So I'm going to negate his attack with Homicidal Clones, and then I play the Meta token that has blocker until the end of the turn. So another reason I was pretty happy to tap out on that last turn is because I have so many negates in my hand. I believe that I can use for free. I'm pretty sure I might have even had another Shocking Death Ball in my hand, maybe even another Dormant, although I think if I had the Dormant I would have used it there, so maybe not. Especially because it would have let me get rid of the token. Yeah, so I lose the marker on my unison from his token's attack, and then I block his unison's attack with the token that I have out. And now I believe he's using his leader skill to swap. Yeah, so that's how he does it. He used the leader to put the 4-drop into the energy, which lets him do basically the same thing that he did last turn with getting the 3-drop out. The 3-drop lets him put the Gotenks into the drop area, and he pays 1, sends the 3-drop to the warp, and then he's able to play the 4-drop from his energy, which also lets him put the Gotenks underneath, and now he's able to get another Majin token. And I believe he's going to swing here into my Unison, and I'm going to... Okay, now I Royal Supremacy, and I'm able to KO the 2 tokens, because up to a total energy cost of 3, so it is able to choose cards that don't have energy cost, like the tokens. And there he's just pointing out that he forgot to put the energy into... top card of his deck into his energy when he played the 4 cost from his energy. Looks like that is the end of his turn. And now we're getting into the part of the game that I don't really remember what happened. I have a pretty clear memory of what happened early on, but from this point on, I don't really remember anything up to right, like the very last turn. There is one thing from the very last turn that I remember. So I think my big thing at this point is just to see if I can get rid of the Unison first by doing this same thing I've been doing every turn with my leader. Getting rid of a new ruler, and then... Actually, I think I don't get rid of a new ruler here, maybe. No, it looks like I am. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm getting rid of Anticipated Onslaught. That doesn't really give me much benefit, but we can see here I'm going to do the +1 on my Unison, play another copy from my hand. So rather than using the Berry Blue, I'm just getting a new Anticipated Onslaught onto the board. And yeah, because I have the 4 cost freezer in my hand. So the card you play off Anticipated Onslaught has to have an energy cost 2 or less. The freezer has its energy cost reduced by all the field cards that I have in play, and possibly also the ones I have in my drop area as well. I'm not 100%. So I swing into his Unison with it being a 25k attacker, because I have Terrified Realization out. I'm using another Chilled there, the winner's version, to get rid of the Buu again. And then I think I'm swinging with... I think I had to get rid of the Buu first, because I'm pretty sure there's a massive attack is going to take him down to maybe less than 4 cards in his hand. Or maybe he has exactly 4. I'm not 100% on that. So now I'm going to swing in with the double strike Gohan on his leader. And I'm paying 1 here for... Yeah, okay. So here is where I do actually use the cells. This Shrine Kamehameha. It does come in handy sometimes. Oh, so you can see there he still had 5 cards in his hand, so I would have been able to use the Chilled after swinging with his Masu, but maybe there was another reason I did it that way around. So that is a 40k double strike attack into his leader, so he's going to take both of those hits. Rather than, with only 4 cards in his hand, it probably would be pretty difficult to get above 40. And I believe, if I remember correctly, yeah, I'm going to Overwhelm here for a card that I think I've had in my hand the whole time, which is Bardock Fighting Against Fate, I believe is the name of it. It's 25k dual attack card. So basically I'm going to try and see if I can take his last 2 life with this guy. So I'm swinging in on his leader, 25k. I drop a super combo onto it. And looks like I'm going to warp. Can't see what I warped there. Unfortunately, the way I had the camera set up, can't see my warp now. Looks like he's going to send a beam on his leader. Well, I mean, he has to send a beam on his leader. He doesn't have anything else out. And he's going to use the Vegeta super combo. So puts 1 card on the bottom and draws 2. And he's going to use another one. So it's not too bad for me, him having to use both his super combos and a Senzu Bean to get out of that attack, especially because I have another one going at his leader now. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if he negates this one or not. I think he might not. The question now is, if he hasn't negated this, how much from my hand do I commit to combo? It looks like I didn't use anything to combo, and you can see there the God Ceiling that he comboed with. And now I'm going to swing at his leader with my Unison because I forget he's Senzu Bean, and so that attack just fails. I think I was saying there, it doesn't really matter if my Unison's in rest mode or not at this point, because you can always attack into it whether it's in active or rest mode, so it wasn't really like that was a wasted attack or anything, especially with him not having anything else out that I could have attacked. So it looks like he's putting down a Barrier of Hope, and I'm just rearranging my cards so the blocker Frieza there is most visible, and he's going to pay for the Buu Unison. And I believe he's then draws off the +0 of the Buu. I don't know why I say +0, it's just 0 plus or minus 0, but I always just say +0 for some reason. And I'm pretty sure he's swinging it into my Unison here, so I'm going to go ahead and negate, I think. Maybe he's going at my leader? Can't quite remember, because I'm on 2 life here. But with not too many cards in his hand, I wasn't too worried about being able to combo out of it. Yeah, it looks like it was at my leader, so I'm able to use my leader's Activate Battle to give him plus 10k. So he comboed up to 25, I just need to get to 30. I drew a card, drop a card, so that's why I'm dropping the Dormant there. And it looks like I combo the Rosie to go up to 30 to get out of that attack. And now I think perhaps he's swinging at my leader again with his leader, and this is where I'm going to block. Yeah, I'm going to block with the Frieza, and I believe I'm not choosing to do the Frieza's auto, which is when I block with it, I can get rid of a filled card to restand it, I believe is what's happening there. It's a bit of a jump cut there because I just wanted to check the camera was still running. And his leader gets plus 5k when it attacks, so that was enough for it to KO the Frieza there that I was blocking with, the 20k. And it looks like he's going to pay 1 for the 1 cost Buu, and I'm going to counterplay with the Cooler. And I'm pretty sure here I said that it was the Cooler that you saw me got earlier, and he said, I don't remember you taking the Cooler, but obviously we've just watched. I got it in one of the early turns, to be fair, or fairly early turns, so I did sit on it for quite a while. But yeah, I think that was pretty big, because if actually I can't quite see how many energy did he have open at that point. Was it just 1? So he wouldn't actually have been able to use the Activate main of the Buu, but he would have drawn the card off it. So now he's sitting there just with 2 cards in his hand and at 2 life. And so I think I'm going to make a pretty big misplay during this turn. I think we'll see it now in a minute. So I believe the first thing I'm going to do is swing at him with my Unison, obviously after charging the energy. I have the Xenobu in my hand at this point, so if he does negate, I'm able to stop that negate and get a 40k double strike out. Unfortunately, he blocks with his Unison, and I'm going to do the -3 on mine to give it triple strike and plus 5k for every field card, so it goes up to 30 triple, which knocks his leader, his Unison, down to 1 marker. So God Ceiling can't use God Ceiling if he had it in his hand. It looks like there he drops another unison for the... I'm going to pause here a second. So he drops the Frieza and Cell unison. So he didn't actually have the God Ceiling, but the 20k swing of the Zamasu is enough to clear his unison. So here we're about to see a misplay from me. I'm going to dump my whole hand on this 25k double strike Gohan. I shouldn't, with him only having one card in his hand. I should just get up to maybe say 35, and then he has to, that last card in his hand has to be a super combo, and then he has to draw into another super combo. And we've seen him use 2 already this game, so he would have to be very lucky at that point. I should have realised this. I do kind of get saved by the fact that I don't combo away the Berry Blue in my battle area. I guess we'll see that now. I'm going to restart the video there. So I'm going to drop a super combo first of all. And then I'm going to warp the Shock and Death Ball that I just got. So I'm going to pause again here. This is where it should have stopped comboing, because now, arguably I should have just stopped after the super combo, because now it's a 35k double strike. Again, he has to have exactly 2 super combos. And actually with the super combo he's running, the Vegeta, he wouldn't actually be able to use it, because you need to put another card from your hand on the bottom in order to draw 2, I believe is how it works. So if he used it, he would get the plus 10k, but he wouldn't get to draw any cards, I believe. So actually, maybe I should have just swung with the Gohan and just not put anything on it. But I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. It's something that's very easy to say in retrospect. But again, I'm going to start it here, and I'm going to pay 2 to combo these other 2 cards from my hand. And now I'm going to pause it again here. Now my hand is completely empty. I have nothing in my hand. With 4 energy open, I could have just kept that Golden Frieza, which is one of the cards that I comboed with. The correct play, I think, for that turn would have been just play the Golden Frieza, do its effect to get rid of that last card from his hand. And I'm going to get punished by not doing that here, we're going to see. Because that one card in his hand is Heroine's Lineage, which means he steals the Gohan from me. And now I have no cards in my hand. Luckily, like I said, I didn't combo away the Berry Blue, which means I'm able to do what I've done on previous turns by swinging in my leader, putting a new ruler in the drop, and then replaying it. Oh, new ruler's already in my drop from last turn, I believe. So I do get to look at the top 3. Now, I'm going to pause here again. A new ruler lets me take a life, and I should have taken the life, just to have an extra card in my hand, if nothing else. Like, if I pass the turn here to him with 1 card in my hand, say the top 3 doesn't have anything very good in it, I'm going to pass the turn to him with a 25k double striker on the board. So being at 2 life is the same as being at 1 life. So I may as well have taken the life here. And actually, after the game, I saw what the card from my life would have been. And it would have been the fill card that gives the leader double strike. So again, if I was playing absolutely correctly, I should have taken the life with a new ruler. But fortunately, what I get off the top 3 is I do have a really good choice. So we can see here that I'm going to get another one of the Gohans, the one that he just stole from me. I believe I also, in there was another one of the field cards to give my leader double strike, so I had 2 chances of getting double strike on my leader, but here I'm going to play the Gohan, kill my own Gohan so he can't combo with it, and then swing in 25k double strike and he's got nothing in his hand. And also I got lucky that the card I drew off my leader from playing a new ruler was a super combo as well. So I still also had the cooler attack and my leader attack, so I probably still would have won the game anyway, but there was some mistakes I made right at the very end there that if I was playing absolutely perfectly, I would have done them slightly differently. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and leave a like. That really helps me out. Also, if you want to, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel to be notified when new videos come out. And thanks for watching.